How's it going, everybody? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today, we're taking a look at how I was able to get over 42,000 capital peak points from this last raid weekend. So let's jump into the attacks and see which bases I'm hitting. You can see them on the screen as well, which order they will be in, which is nice. And so we're going in with the super miners, trying to clean up a Barbarian camp. We had a couple of graveyards from the first attack, as well as a freeze. We've got these freeze spells over the splash targeting defenses, as well as some of the tricky parts in the base where I think some of the miners will group up together. So, split off one of the miners to get a bomb tower, which is a really nice value. Usually I find that the bomb towers and the crushers are some of the hardest things for the miners to get through. If you have a bunch of miners, they'll just one-shot the crusher before it can activate, but I think it's what the bomb towers and the Teslas and the crushers typically get some chip damage on the miners, so you want to make sure that you're trying to also cover those with the freeze spells if possible. And then if you can take out a bomb tower with only one or two of your miners, that is ideal. Otherwise, that splash damage, when it gets destroyed, will hit all of the miners. We see as it goes down, bang, hits everyone. So, luckily we had enough power, and the miners were healthy enough, but we got 7,400 plus 300 from the first attack. So, for the rest of the attacks, we're going to be looking at first hits, which I think may be a little bit more helpful when using miners. So, we're sending in a couple miners on the right-hand side of the base. And now that we know that they're going to the right-hand side, we can send all of them in to help speed things along. So they're going to be working on that side of the base. Now we can see the freeze spell or the frost spell deployments. We want to make sure that we get the rocket artilleries covered as best as we can, because those things do a lot of damage to the miners. We also have the Inferno, and we just barely missed the double cannon, which is fine, or the multi-cannon. So as we can see here, miners are just flying through the base. None of the single target defenses can really stand any chance of trying to stop them, but we will see as they get into the core of the base, things do start to get interesting. We are getting some rocket artillery hits. It's locking onto this one miner, but unfortunately it retargeted and hit the big group, so try to use a zap spell to reset the crusher. But the crusher still went off. Do get some miners onto the rocket artilleries, and the death damage actually takes that last one out, which is perfect. The crusher gets off another hit, and we had, what was it, one or two, I think, split off across the river, which is kind of fortunate, so we get a little bit more value. And our last miner dies on the cannon, so we get 6,500 points, so no bonus points from cleaning up the attack, but that is pretty decent for a first hit. So now we're looking at a builder's workshop. We're going all in on the left-hand side of the base, because as you can see on this district with this clan, they have all four of their giant cannons and both the blast bows in this one compartment with the crusher. So I'm hoping that these miners can try to dodge a lot of the hits, try to reset the targeting on the back end cannon. Doesn't quite work out as I'd hoped, but we are going through the base. Unfortunately, not that many miners split off to the right hand side, so this blast bow and giant cannon are still alive, but we will be able to rotate upwards around the top side of the base, and maybe, if we get lucky, some of these miners will kind of peel back down, and we should be good. So they do go for that crusher. Now they're able to go onto the blast bow, dodge the cannon, zoop, get hit by a couple of zap traps. The explosion definitely helps with the cleaning up of the defenses. And the last miner falls, so we get 6,910. No bonus points, so we were not able to utilize any of those, but now we're on to a skeleton park. And the skeleton park, I think, is one of the toughest districts for the miners to hit. So just be cautious of that if you're using the miner spam strategy. We've got, what was it, the two rocket artilleries. We got one of the giant cannons, a couple of the minion hives. The biggest thing is that they have all of these reflectors. The reflectors actually deal quite a bit of damage to the miners, as well, of course, as the bomb towers. Got, was it, I think 4 of those? 3 or 4 of the bomb towers. So almost as many as on the Barbarian camp. And that's where if all of your miners are grouped up together, if they even get clipped by a rocket artillery shot, depending on the level of the bomb towers, they might only be able to get through 1 or 2 of those bomb towers before they die out. So a big group on the right hand side split off. Now they are going upwards, which is fine. They are starting to lose the miners and get some zap traps. So luckily we get only 1 miner on that bomb tower, which is nice. And then a couple miners on this left hand minion hive. And that is the last one. It does unfortunately go down, so we don't get any of the explosion damage. So only 5,000 points. Not the greatest. That's why the points are a little bit lower. But now for the last 2 attacks, they do get a little bit more exciting. So got the basic layout of the Dragon Cliffs. We're sending all 10 miners in on this right-hand side. Typically like to just allow all 10 miners to kind of zip through this first section. Sometimes you get clipped by this first dragon, which is unfortunate, but if you're lucky, you can get the dragons both to get into this frost spell. And then we do get very lucky here where only 1 miner gets hit by some of the dragon splash and the bomb tower, which saves a ton of hit points. So now we're watching these miners just absolutely fly through the base. We do hit a zap trap, and we do unfortunately get clipped by the Super Dragon Breath over there, which I think may have been the difference. Of course, there is this bomb tower, which hurts so much, but as you can see, we've destroyed the majority of the base. Got a couple of miners left, and now that they're all underground, these dragons are just chilling. They cannot get close enough. Got a frost spell over this last side section. I didn't see it, but I should have tried to clip this wizard tower as well, because the wizard towers, they actually do some damage to the miners. Not a ton, but some. The miner falls on that cannon, but we only had that one last section remaining, so got 8,300 points from that one attack, which is kind of crazy. So now we'll take a look at the Goblin mines. Pretty easy district to hit. You know, not too challenging. Most of the defenses in most clans are still level 1. Sometimes they don't even have all this stuff built, like these guys don't have this last section built, but I do like to use the miners. I have been finding though that if you use 10 miners, you'll actually time fail on this base because of all of those goblin huts. Or what I think they were goblin launchers? I forget the name of them, I'll have to look it up. But you are able to drop one of the miners and hopefully bring in some other troops to help clean up. So I opted to bring in 2 of the super wizards so that hopefully as this deployment zone gets opened up, since there aren't that crazy of wall structures, I'm hoping I can deploy some of the super wizards, help splash down the goblins so that the super miners can continue moving through the base. So got a couple miners on the right hand side cleaning up, got our big group going in on this left hand side, and now we have our first launcher going down. We will use the zap spell to take out all of those, because ideally you want to have them, you want to try and fight the goblins, I feel like one pack at a time. If you fight all of them at once, they do get quite a bit of damage. So unfortunately we were not able to use the super wizards over there. However, now the deployment zone is getting closer, we can use the super wizards, did I say minions? I mean super wizards, to take out some of these goblin barrels. And now you can see that it worked out much better. Similarly, had the other super wizard trying to help out on this right hand side, but didn't quite work out because it was getting targeted by the spirit thrower and the multi-mortar when the miners went underground. But we had one more backup from the other side, so makes things a little bit faster. We'll speed up through the rest of the attacks. We're pretty much done. And we are able to actually one-shot this district using it, the attack this way. So we got a bonus 450. So we got, what was that? 8,050 from this one attack. So Still think the best strategy is to attack the Dragon Cliffs for the first hits if they are the basic layouts. You just seem to get the most value with miners and the frost spells doing it that way. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. And as always, take care. Thank you.